It was a crisp morning, the kind where the air smells like fresh grass and coffee tastes like a hug. I was leaning against the railing of my three-story home, sipping my second cup, when I heard her voice sharp, like a knife cutting through the quiet. "This house is too tall. It's a violation." There she was, Linda, the new HOA queen, clutching a clipboard like it was her scepter, her oversized sunglasses glinting like a cheap sci-fi VY lane. Her smirk screamed, "I own this street." I blinked, half expecting her to complain about my mailbox or my lawn. But no, she marched up, pointed at my roof like it had personally offended her, and slapped a DULA 5,000 fine notice into my hand. No warning, no chat, just a demand. The paper read violation of vertical conformity, a phrase so absurd I thought it was written in code. 5 years ago, I built this house. Got every permit, passed every inspection, even threw a barbecue for the neighbors when it was done. Everyone loved it. The top floor? That's my observatory. I'm an amateur astronomer, and the height was no accident. I needed it to escape the city's light pollution and see the stars. Nobody cared until Linda took over the HOA last month. Suddenly, she was the self-appointed guardian of neighborhood aesthetics, and my roof was her personal enemy. She called it an insult to the community's harmony. Her words, not mine. I figured it was a one-off, maybe a bad day. So, I showed up at the HOA meeting, permits and blueprints in hand, ready to explain that my house was 100 Fantram legal. But Linda? She didn't listen. She waved the HOA bylaws like they were holy scripture and declared, "We reserve the right to preserve the community's character, including its vertical presence." Someone in the back muttered, "Did she just make that up?" She ignored them. A board member whispered that Linda had just come back from some architectural harmony seminar. I didn't know whether to laugh or scream. The kicker? Her own house was a peeling one-story box that hadn't seen paint since the early 2000s. Yet here she was the expert on design. Linda started calling my house the monolith in emails, claiming it scared off buyers and tanked property values. I caught her snapping photos from across the street, like my place was a crime scene. Then came another DULA, 5,000 fine, this time with threats of daily penalties if I didn't align with her guidelines. I called the city inspector, who confirmed my house was legal, complete with an elevation variance from years ago. He chuckled and said, "You're fine legally, but HOAs? They played dirty." That's when Linda went nuclear. She canvassed the neighborhood, handing out flyers titled, "Stop the Monolith. Save our skyline." She held backyard meetings, warning that my house was the first step toward a Manhattan takeover. It would have been funny if it wasn't wrecking my life. My neighbor, Tom, told me Linda spread rumors I was running an illegal Airbnb for weirdos in my attic. Then Tom got a complaint about his fire pit. Guess who filed it? Linda wasn't just after Mesh, was bullying anyone who didn't bow to her. I tried to play nice. I offered to host an open house, show off the observatory, maybe do a stargazing demo. A few neighbors were excited, but Linda showed up early, stood on my lawn, and shouted, "This is a manipulation tactic." She accused me of bribing the neighborhood with science. I laughed too loud. She recorded it and filed a complaint, claiming I mocked the HOA. By month's end, the fines hit DULA 20,000. I wasn't paying a dime. My lawyer sent a cease and desist, pointing out the fines were unenforceable since my house met all city codes. Linda didn't care. She called an emergency meeting and proposed demolishing my top floor. That's when I realized this wasn't about rule sit, it was about her ego. She'd picked a fight, expecting me to fold. I don't fold. That night, I stood on my roof, staring at the stars. The neighborhood was quiet, but Linda's chaos was loud in my head. If she wanted a war over height, I'd give her one she'd never forget. I wasn't going to just fight back, I was going to flip the whole damn board. The next morning, another fine arrived, DULA 500 for non-compliance continuation. According to Linda, I'd owe DULA 15,000 a month just for VYing in my own house. I didn't respond. Instead, I hammered a sign into my lawn. "This house is 100 Fantram City approved. HOA is lying. Ask why." By noon, neighbors were stopping by, some nodding, some laughing. One guy took a selfie. Linda called the cops. They showed up, saw sign was legal, and left in 10 minutes. Linda stood on the sidewalk, fuming, ranting about VY Sewell pollution. Then I caught her on my property, tape measure in one hand, drone remote in the other. Yes, a drone. She was flying around my house to prove elevation abuse. I stepped outside, phone recording, and asked if she needed help reading my permits. She yelled about me, intimidating a female resident, and bolted. An hour later, my mailbox was stuffed with HOA letters accusing me of harassment. My lawyer sighed. They're building a paper trail. Build a better one. So I installed camera shy def, legal, motion activated. Linda claimed they violate privacy norms and demanded I remove them. I posted footage of her trespassing online. It went viral in the neighborhood Facebook group. Comments were gold. Is she running for HOA president or dictator? The pressure kept piling up. Linda held secret backyard meetings, spreading lies about me planning a rooftop nightclub or spying on kids with my telescope. Someone slipped a fake newspaper article under doors. Unlicensed skyscraper threatens peace. It had a blurry photo of me at Home Depot. I laughed, but not everyone did. Neighbors I used to chat with started avoiding me. Linda was poisoning the well, and legal fees were draining me. Every fine needed a lawyer's re-VYEW. Every notice another bill. She wasn't fighting for rules, she was trying to break me. Mediation day was a circus. Linda sat across from me, flanked by 3 board members who looked like hostages. She slid over a folder with photos, measurements, and a cartoon of my house as a monster towering over tiny homes. She launched into a rehearsed speech. The spirit of this neighborhood is balance, equality, uniformity. This monolith cast shadow literal and metaphorical over our lives. Her voice shook with obsession. I stayed calm. I've done nothing wrong. My house is legal. I'm being punished for not fitting your fantasy. The room went silent. Linda stood, snarling. Remove the top floor, or we'll escalate. I asked, escalate how? Her lips curled. You'll see. That night, I sat in my observatory, staring at the identical houses below. Linda wanted my house erased. But what if I didn't fight her? What if I let her win in the pettiest, most spectacular way possible? I opened my laptop and typed, Fire Department Urban Training Structures. Jackpot. They needed tall buildings for vertical rescues, smoke drills, high-angle training. They'd pay, or better, lease for free if they could train regularly. Linda hated my house's height. Wait till she saw who'd be climbing it every week. I emailed the local fire department, keeping it casual, got a tall, permitted 3-story house. Need a training site for rescue or hose drills. I didn't expect a reply, but Chief Daniels called the next morning. He wanted a tour. By Saturday, he was walking through my house, measuring staircases, checking the observatory ladder, stepping onto the balcony. This is perfect, he said. We rarely get tall, residential structures. Ideal for ladder drills, smoke tests, rooftop evacuations. I asked what he needed. Just your permission and property rights, he said. The HOA couldn't touch it. Municipal authority trumped their nonsense. My lawyer loved it. You're donating to public safety. They'll look like idiots if they complain. I signed the lease. My house was now an official training site. The first session was set for Tuesday smoke tests, ladder drills, simulated rescues. Linda had no idea what was coming. At dawn, fire trucks rolled in, lights flashing, no sirens. Firefighters in full gear marched up my driveway, prepping hoses, testing radios. I stood on my lawn, coffee in hand, while VYing like it was a parade. Neighbors stumbled out in pajamas, whispering, "Is there a fire?" I grinned. "Nope, just training." Weekly, Linda appeared, robe askew, curlers in her hair, face like she'd swallowed a wasp. "What is this?" she shrieked. "Why are fire trucks here?" I gestured. "Linda, meet Station 12. They'll be training here for weeks, maybe months." She stammered. "This is a residential neighborhood." Chief Daniel stepped in, calm as steel. "We have the homeowner's permission and city approval. It's all legal." Linda turned purple. That day, firefighters ran smoke drills from my observatory, rappelled down the walls, blasted fog machines to mimic fire. The street looked like a film set. Kids watched wide-eyed. A news van showed up, low VYing the story. Homeowner battles HOA, donates house to firefighters. Linda lost it, calling an emergency meeting, screaming that I'd turn my house into a fire hazard. The board asked for proof. She had none. One member snapped, "So does this meeting." The fire crews kept coming. They hauled gear upstairs, sprayed hoses from balconies, gated smoke-filled rooms. Rookies called it the monolith with pride. Linda tried everything: noise complaints, parking violations, claims the smoke triggered her asthma. All denied. She filed a city complaint. The fire department's own inspectors gave my house a glowing REVYEW, calling it a community asset. Linda's Facebook rants became legendary, accusing me of weaponizing legality. The neighborhood changed. Kids loved the drills. Families brought lawn chairs. Neighbors started talking again. The HOA board turned on Linda. They voted to limit her power, with one member saying, "She's not protecting us, just obsessed with one house." The town hall was the final blow. Linda stormed the stage with a slideshow, "The Rise and Fall of Peace: How One Man Ruined Oak Grove." It had graphs, blurry drone photos, even a map claiming the drills cast emotional shadows. The crowd groaned. Chief Daniels raised his hand, took the mic, and said, "We train everywhere: warehouses, apartments, downtown roofs. But this house welcomes us. If your home catches fire, we'll be faster because of it. That's not a nuisance. That's preparedness." The room erupted in applause. Linda froze, then fled mid-meeting. My house became a legend. Firefighters trained monthly, and the community treated it like a festival. The story spread: Reddit, news outlets, even a firefighter newsletter. The mayor VY cited during a drill, shook my hand, and said, "You turned a feud into a model for cooperation. And you made it fun." I shrugged. I just wanted Linda to leave me alone. She laughed. Linda tried one last violation, claiming I was running a training business. It was unauthorized, and the HOA board withdrew it, reimbursing my legal fees. Linda vanished from a board. Her house went up for sale, and nobody bought it. The neighborhood had changed: freer, livelier, prouder. I bought a second property, taller, just outside the HOA's reach. A firefighter joked, "The sequel?" I grinned. Backup tower. One evening, I sat in my observatory, stars twinkling above. A poster on the community board caught my eye later. My house, mid-drill, with the caption, "This house trains the heroes who might save yours." I smiled. Linda wanted me gone. Instead, I became the neighborhood's heart. So what do you think? Was I wrong for turning my house into a firefighter playground? Or did Linda deserve every second of this wake-up call? Should I have fought her in court, or was this petty revenge the better play? And if you were me, would you do it again: taller, smokier, louder? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories where the underdog flips the script.